You know that feeling, right? You've ordered something custom, maybe a special notebook, and you're excited, but also, well, a little nervous, hoping it turns out exactly how you pictured it. Today, we're doing a deep dive into something that helps make sure it does. The quality control process in manufacturing, specifically looking at this key thing called the first sample in making notebooks.
Yeah, it sounds simple, but it's really not just a quick check. Think of it as your main risk control tool. It's absolutely vital for making sure the final product actually matches the design you signed off on.
Okay, so let's unpack that. How does this one step, this first sample, become so important for, well, for quality and for trust between the buyer and the maker?
Well, the interesting thing is the first sample isn't really just one sample. It's actually like a whole series,
Yeah.
prototypes, initial units. It's a structured process, step by step.
Right, okay. So multiple steps. What's the first one then?
It kicks off with what's called the white dummy sample.
Mike, tell me.
You know,
Okay, sounds basic.
it is intentionally. It's
Yeah.
completely blank, no printing. The whole point is just to check the physical stuff, the size, is it right? The paper thickness, the binding method. Does it feel right? Does it work?
Ah, so nailing down the fundamentals before you even think about the design. Makes sense. And you mentioned it's quick.
Yeah, usually feedback on that is super fast, like 5 to 7 days.
Mm.
You confirm the basic structure is good to go, or you flag any issues right away.
Okay, structure confirmed. What's next?
Then you move to the color prototype sample. Now, this is where your design comes in.
The pretty version.
Exactly. This one is printed. It's got your colors, your logo, all the graphics. It's your chance to see how the design actually looks on the physical product.
And critically, to make changes before they start making thousands.
Precisely. Imagine finding a typo or, I don't know, a color clash after the main production run starts. That's a disaster.
Yeah.
This step prevents that. You approve the look and feel before committing to the big run.
Okay, that definitely sounds like smart planning.
Yeah.
So we've checked the structure, we've checked the design proof. What's the final stage you mentioned?
This is the big one, the first sample for mass production. And this isn't a prototype anymore
How so?
because these are the very first items actually coming off the real production line. Same machines, same materials, same process that they'll use for your entire order.
Okay, so it's like a final reality check. Does this unit, made under actual conditions, match everything we approved?
Exactly. You get these initial units, you give the final okay, and only then does the full-scale manufacturing really ramp up. It confirms consistency before you're committed to thousands.
Wow, okay, that sounds thorough. So let's talk benefits. For someone ordering these notebooks, what does this whole multi-stage process actually do for them?
Huge benefits. First off, fewer returns, obviously. You catch errors super early when they're cheap and easy to fix, not when you've got a pallet of faulty goods.
Right, avoids that whole headache.
Yeah.
What else?
It generally means shorter approval times overall. Because you're giving feedback stage by stage, the whole thing moves more smoothly. You're not waiting till the very end, finding a problem, and then having to backtrack massively.
Makes sense. Keeps things moving.
And it creates a traceable process. There's a clear record. You know what was checked, when it was approved. It builds accountability right into the system.
Accountability. I like that.
And maybe the biggest one, reduced costs. Seriously, fixing a problem on a white dummy costs next to nothing. Fixing it after mass production, that can be incredibly expensive. Rework, delays, materials, it adds up fast. This process saves serious money in the long run.
So it's proactive, not reactive.
Totally. It's about preventing problems, not just fixing them. And that commitment to getting it right builds real trust. It's fundamental for long-term partnerships. You know the manufacturer is serious about precision.
Right. They see it as a commitment, not just a box to tick.
Exactly. It shows they're invested in delivering what they promised.
Okay, so stepping back, the big picture here is that this careful, multi-stage, first sample approach isn't just about notebooks. It's a system for ensuring quality, preventing nasty surprises, and building solid working relationships.
That's the core of it, yes. That proactive validation, checking things at each key point, it just leads to better outcomes and stronger partnerships. It's about delivering reliably every time.
So thinking about this,
Yeah.
what does this deep dive into first samples maybe suggest for you listening right now? Beyond just getting a perfect notebook, how might this idea of structured previews, of validating things early, how might that apply elsewhere, maybe in projects you're running or even commitments you're making? Where could that kind of early checking process save you some headaches, reduce risks, and just build more confidence that things will turn out the way you expect? Something to think about.